How's it going, everybody? What a day in the stock market for Corsair Gang. What a huge day. Actually, the biggest moving day for Corsair since its IPO last year. Take a look at this. At market open, we were up over 20% already. Had a little bit of a sell-off in the morning. I kind of expected that, right? A lot of profit taking from people that just got pumped overnight and in pre-market. But then we rallied all the way up until about 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Look at this, up almost 30% in one day. And then really the hedgies and the institutions, I think, had their way. A lot of selling pressure towards the end of the day to close it out. I mean, we went from a price of around 41, almost 42 bucks down to close around 36 bucks. We're pretty flat in after hours trading right now. But overall, big day in Corsair today. I mean, in the last video, we talked about how flat it was. Just take a look at the weekly graph here. Super flat compared to this big spike in pre-market trading and today. Hopefully this holds up. If we go back all the way to the year, it was a big jump comparatively to the past 3 months, but really around 35, 36 bucks. We're right back to where we were just a few months ago back in March. So not really a huge spike. Remember, the all-time high right now is over 50 bucks for Corsair. There was a ton of unusual and high options activity today, which I'll show you towards the end of the video. So hopefully this run continues for the rest of the week. But keep in mind, on Wednesday, JPOW has a big meeting where I'm sure a lot of people are going to be interested to see what the Federal Reserve's plan is in terms of interest rates, in terms of inflation for the coming few months. So I'm going to be glued to that meeting to see what they have to say and obviously how the stock market is going to react. But taking a look at the options chain here, implied volatility, or the Vega for Corsair, went through their roof this morning. It was as high as 200%. To give you a benchmark, usually the past 3 months, Corsair's had an IV of like 50, 60, maybe 70%, was all the way up to 200. Closed the day around 180, I think, 180%. So that just means that the options premiums are very juicy. I mean, take a look at this. If you wanted to sell some puts at the money right now, you would collect at the money $180 in premium for putting up $3,500 in capital. So just to do a quick return on risk calculation, that is a return on risk of over 5% now with just 4 days of trading left. The sad thing about Corsair right now, hopefully all this activity will change that, but right now they only have monthly options and the strikes are $2.50 apart. I would love to get weekly options on Corsair, but let's take a look at what happened with Corsair. If you're following Wall Street Bets, there were about 3 or 4 posts, big posts that gained some traction over this past weekend on the subreddit. And if we take a look at Swaggy Stocks here and go to the ticker sentiment, Corsair was actually the #1 ticker for all of the weekend and basically for today. But take a look at this. Just today, CLNE just overtook it, although Corsair is right here at #2. But you can still see this big green bar means the sentiment is still overall positive. Maybe Corsair is losing a little bit of steam here. Woof! Petco came out of nowhere to take the #3 spot over AMC and Clove and BB and Workhorse. So I have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But that might mean if Corsair is already losing its steam, some of that IV may get crushed. So if you sold some puts, sold some covered calls, you may get some profit just from IV crush. Not only was it #1 on subreddit Wall Street Bets, but it was also #1 on StockTwits, trending this morning as well. It's since dropped down to #3. You can see Petco, woof, is #1. And Wrapped Therapeutics, never heard of this company until now, is #2. So we'll see if StockTwits and Wall Street Bets can keep the pump going right now for Corsair to rally into tomorrow. I'm rooting for it. I have some puts on Corsair. Also have some covered calls. If you saw my video from yesterday at the 35 strike, I already rolled them out into the following month. I'm hoping once this hype, once this mania calms down, Corsair will come back down to 35 bucks or less, and my options will expire worthless because I don't want my shares to get called away. We'll take a look at the TA in just a second, but let's take a look at some news articles here. This is out of Yahoo Finance. Corsair rockets up 30% in early trading as Wall Street Bets find its latest meme stock. And I don't know if Corsair can fall under the meme stock category because yes, it got popular, it got a little bit of hype, But I don't know if it's meme status, because Corsair, in my opinion, is a good company. They're making good money. They have good products. I like their products. I use their products. So I don't know if it's a meme company, because I don't think they were in trouble per se. But take a look at this. AMD, Intel, Nvidia are some of its competition, but not really, right? Because they don't make the gaming peripherals, the streaming hardware and software that Corsair does. Here's another thing. The other gaming companies like Activision Blizzard, EA, Take-Two Interactive, the companies that are making the video games, they have also underperformed the S&P 500. And a lot of this is now my opinion, but a lot of people think, oh, the boom or the pop on Corsair and these gamings were because of the pandy that was going on, and a lot of people were at home and they were playing games that way. But personally, yeah, maybe I have a little bit less time to play video games, but I haven't stopped playing video games. I still think people are using Twitch, YouTube gaming more than ever. People are streaming more than ever. They're streaming for work now because they're working from home. Need to buy a webcam, need to buy a new mic, a whole new setup. So I don't think Corsair is going anywhere. I don't think gaming is going anywhere. I think esports and video gaming are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger in popularity, especially because now a lot of us that grew up playing video games have the money to go out and buy video games. We don't have to ask our parents for some cash to buy the new game out. But take a look at this. They're even quoting Redditors right now. Laughing Adventure Game wrote, Corsair is one of the very few select stocks being mentioned here that I have full faith in. This literally can't go wrong. Good luck. And I kind of agree with that, because, you know, if I'm going to YOLO in a stock, I would want to YOLO in a stock, and again, not financial advice here, but in a stock that has a future, because I feel like if I end up bag holding shares, I can just hold them long enough and hopefully at some point in the future, they'll turn a profit. So right now you can see scrolling below, have some shares, have some call options that I've sold, have some put options that I've sold. So hopefully Corsair will make me some money. I am looking to upgrade my PC to a whole new system. So hopefully Corsair will pay for that. And you know I'm going to have Corsair components in that rig. And that's what I'm talking about, because I guarantee you, any of my audience viewers right now, if you have either a custom built PC that you built yourself or a pre-built that you bought, chances are you have at least one Corsair component in there, whether it's the keyboard, the mouse, the cooling system, the RAM. You've got some Corsair part in there, I bet. And people like myself just want to upgrade and buy the latest and greatest. So I don't think Corsair is going anywhere anytime soon. Another article here on investors.com. Again, Corsair shares gapped up 11.25% to close exactly at 36 bucks. The interesting thing for that is that this Friday is when the monthly options expire, and the max paying for these options is $32.50. I think there's going to be a lot of selling pressure to beat the price down under 36, 35 bucks. And let's talk about that right now when we do the TA here. So first, right off the bat, if I zoom out here, this is all the trading days for Corsair since its IPO back on September 2020. Take a look at this big red bar. That's the volume for today. The volume today was, let's see, almost 65 million, okay? The average volume for Corsair is 2 million. We blew the average volume out of the water. Before that, the next highest was about 14.5 million here back in January, and on the day of the IPO, a little under 13 million. So huge day, a lot of market activity on Corsair today. But take a look at this. Big red candle, big wick here. We got as high as about 43 bucks, but couldn't hold it. We are up about 16 cents in after hours trading. But I think the big thing to note here is that we have a gap now from where we got as high as around 32.60 and the low of today, which was around 35.60. So we have about a $3 wide gap here that I think is going to get filled at some point. So that's why I am a little bit hesitant. I think we're going to have a little bit of some selling pressure to bring this back down to earth. Obviously the RSI crept up here. The pink line here, the 50-day moving average, is all the way down sub $33. I think, and I hate to say it, but I don't think this is going to last. Maybe the pump will last for another day or two, but I think we're going to slowly kind of fall back down to earth and settle in this range where it likes to trade between 30 bucks and 35 bucks. I think we're going to settle there. Part of me was like, should I just hodl my 35 covered calls? Because it looks like it's getting back down there. I mean, we're only a few bucks, actually not even a few bucks, a dollar and some change over the 35 strike. Maybe we would have gotten there by Friday, and maybe I wouldn't have had to roll my strikes out, but I rolled them out, got a little bit of credit along the way, so we'll see what happens. But from the TA, there's not really much to add right now. It does look like we closed kind of right around this area of trend that I drew around 35 bucks. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, after hours trading was pretty flat. Be curious to see if Wall Street Bets reacts in the forum this evening. See what happens tomorrow pre-market to get an idea. I don't think we're going to have this huge volume like we did again. I think it'll be much, much less, maybe half, just my prediction. Let's end the video looking at the option flow data to see what the big money was doing with Corsair today. So here's Sweepcast, one of the option flow programs I've been using, and take a look at this. There has never been this much activity on Corsair since I've been following it. I mean, there's pages and pages of option flow data here. The biggest option was for $490,000, just under $500,000. That was actually a bearish call. $50 strike for November of this year, but overall the sentiment you can see right here is bullish. Total of 50 calls, 21 puts, so a lot of money traded on Corsair today. Have to wait and see what happens. Up towards the top, looks like some of the higher value options were mostly bullish. There is some few bearish options there, which may be hedges, we'll never know. But if we sort by time here, towards the end of the day in power hour, looks like it was a mixture of some bullish bets, some bearish bets, a neutral bet. So I don't think I can get much information from this. We'll just have to wait and see what Wall Street Bets wants to do with this. But I still think there's a lot of selling pressure on this ticker. We'll find out tomorrow. Let me know in the comments below if you took some profits today, if you opened some new positions today. If so, what did you open? Did you buy shares or did you buy calls? Add me on Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and StockTwits. Most importantly, join the Discord server if you're not in there already. We were having an absolute blast today. As always, hope you had a green trading day, and I'll see you on the moon.